And let's go.
Yeah, welcome everybody who joined us today. We're very happy to spend the next hour with you. We will be learning about a DevOps engineer career tonight. And I just want to say welcome everyone. Whoever is just joining us, let us know where you joining us from. I want to see the states we have in and maybe the countries. New York and who else we got? So whoever is on Eastern time zone, special welcome to you. I know it's 9:30 in your time zone. So good job on investing into your new skill set and learning new industry. Oh, we got a lot of people today. New Jersey, California, Virginia, Dallas, uh, California, New Jersey. Wow, we get a lot of people. Welcome, everyone. So you can Illinois with us, Philadelphia. Wow, that's wonderful. Welcome,
Yeah, we
everyone.
have a wide geography today.
Yes, I'm so excited. And tonight I'll have an expert with us. His name is Alexei. He will be sharing with us who is DevOps engineer, why this career is blooming, and why it is the best time right now to invest in yourself and develop the skill set so you can monetize on this blooming industry. Washington State, yeah, thank you so much for being so active in the chat. So if you will have any questions, we will be answering all of them in the end. So just make sure you write them down, take notes, and in the beginning, my name is Julia. I will introduce you our company and where we're coming from and a little bit of history. I want to hear who is with us for the first time. Like you've never been on the webinars with us where I have experts from different industry. I want to hear who is here for the first time. Oh, we got someone, Jamar from Houston, Paula from Massachusetts, Chimney for the first time. Welcome, welcome. Awesome. A lot of people who are joining us for the first time. I'm super excited about sharing with you what's going on the market and how to become DevOps engineer and who is DevOps engineer. We're going to learn today. Alexei, if you can share the next slide, I would like to give you a small overview of our company and the project Black Screen AI. Originally, it was a project of past company and we were founded in California in 2016. So as you see, this is not the first year we're on the market and helping people to get the dream career. We originally started this company for the Slavic speaking people, and we had so much success since 2016. We helped over 3,500 students to find the job in IT industry, and since then, we actually decided to make this program available for English speakers as well. And since 2016, we have over 25,000 students who we help to become successful in different IT career. And tonight I'll have Alexei with me and he will be sharing about DevOps engineer and how you can become successful in this industry. I see more people are joining. By the way, if you know someone like your friend who you would like to join to this program and who you know needs to learn about DevOps engineering industry or looking for a career in IT, share the link, share with them this recording. If they even missed the beginning, we're recording, so you could share it with them later, or if you would like to rewatch it. I see more people joining Tampa, Wisconsin, Cali, Columbus, Ohio. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know you will learn something new today and will help you to become the best in the industry if you will see that this is the best fit. Thank you, Alexei, for sharing the original company website. And on the next slide, you will see that we do have a YouTube channel where you can hear the testimonials from our students. As I mentioned, over 25,000 students from all over the world join our program in different IT career projects, and most of them successfully working in the industry. And you name the company, they're there. Because since COVID challenged us, a lot of people, they're trying to find the flexibility, and IT world is given this flexibility. And tonight we're going to be talking about DevOps engineer. And Alexei, if you don't mind sharing the next slide. As I mentioned, any company, you name it, our students are there. And on the next slide, I just want to show you a few statistics. And before that, I want to tell you that we are going to spend 2 days together. And we just want to give you an overview of DevOps engineer career. And Alexei, he is currently working as a DevOps engineer, and all our experts I'm bringing, they usually don't just have a theoretical overview of the industry, but they currently working in as an expert, so they could actually share what's going on in the market, how to get into the industry, how to become successful. So tonight and tomorrow night at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, you're more than welcome to join us and learn more and see if that's a great fit for your future career. And as Alexei, can you show us the next slide? I just want to show them a few numbers about DevOps engineer career. Right now, it's about 10 billion, and by 2032, they're predicting that it's going to be over $60 billion industry. So it's a great opportunity. Over 43% of companies are currently seeking DevOps engineers right now. And so you got contemporary African art,
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
right here,
gentlemen,
right here.
but I think I'm gonna just mute this
Yeah,
person. Hold on.
let's mute it.
It's always happens. Okay. I think I muted you, Julia, too, accidentally.
It's okay. It
Yeah.
happens, little technical issues. So if you didn't unmute yourself, I think Alexei helped you out. So let's continue. And as I mentioned before, that about 43% of companies are looking for DevOps engineers right now. So that's why we decided to spend this evening with you tonight to share about this opportunity on the market. And then you make a decision if you would like to jump in and get the skill set. We'll help you out step by step. And tonight, Alexei is going to share how to get into the industry and how to become successful in it. And I always say that the difference between successful people and not successful is that successful people, they recognize the opportunity which is on the market, they prepare, they get the skill set, and then they become successful because they jumped into the industry in the right timing. And so tonight, just write down your questions. We'll be answering them in the end. And thank you again for joining us. So let's dive in. Let me introduce you, Alexei, who is our expert tonight, and I'll let him share a few words about his experience. But for me, what really amazes me about Alexei is that he didn't even have experience, and he jumped into the industry, got the knowledge. Right now he is working, he has the flexibility, beautiful family, and so he basically created the lifestyle which he wanted. And this is our goal, to help you to have the career which allows you to create the dream future which everyone deserves. And so tonight, Alexei, I'll let you introduce yourself more and share more about your experience. And I hope his story will encourage you to recognize the opportunity on the market. And it might be your dream career in the future. And if you decide so, we'll let you know in the end how to join our program. And also for everyone who stays till the end, we prepared something special. So stay tuned. And Alexei, I wanted to let you take from here,
I gotta
and
take it from
let's
here, yes.
let's learn together.
Thank you, Julia. So, good evening, everybody. Today, I'm your MC and person leading this webinar on the technical side. And I just gonna do the introduction back. So, Julia is our salesperson. So, if you have any questions, follow-up questions, you want to see this video after the webinar, you want to get the contacts, you want to get a trial and so on, you definitely should contact Julia. And I think you will get the ping back from Julia as well. So that's the expectations. My name is Alexei Pasichnik. Do not even try to break your tone on my last name. It's I have a Ukrainian roots, and currently I'm located in Vancouver, Canada. I'm professional senior DevOps engineer. They mixed up so many titles in there. But initially, I have an education as the refrigeration engineer. So heat energy transfers, and I have masters in it. And that was sometime like 12 years ago. But around six right now, more around 7 years ago, I got an opportunity to join the software bootcamp at the mother company, the link which I posted in this chat earlier. And I was on the crossroads because I kind of tried to pursue my dream to get the professional engineer. Unfortunately, it's a lot of hustle, time, and money and learning again in Canada, transferring your knowledge and basically getting certified again. That at certain point, I just decided to do the career switch. And yes, I had a passion, always I had a passion for the networks, hardware, and working with the computers since the childhood. And at certain point, I just found the PSV. The beauty of this bootcamp and something what completely differs this place from the others is that essentially you get an access to the community. All of the knowledge, instructors, teaching lessons, everything matters, but the community, that's what keeps you going. Because our students, they get accountability too. So that means, and every lesson, I'm waiting for my students, and they share knowledge in between each other as well. Not only working with me during the lessons, but also on the practical sessions where it's also instructor led, but you get a chance to kind of try stuff what we did on the lessons. About myself, sometimes 6, 7 years ago, I honestly don't remember by now. I just joined the company, and essentially I realized mid software development bootcamp course that that's not exactly what I want to do. Uh, and that's okay. And in my case, there were no DevOps courses because DevOps as the career path started around the same time. So the profession was very young and technically non-existent. And my path was really peculiar in the way that I actually learned the stack myself. So I had a great chance to work with the infrastructure. I got an access to all of the resources necessary to build my own lab. And since then, I actually built my own home lab. That's another benefit because my students, they do get access to this lab. And I provide you really worry-free environment where you can break things like whatever. And that is worth some, it's really worth something. So at the end, I learned the stack myself, but I stayed to the end of the course and I helped along the way the PSV to set up their own infra and basically following best practices, sometimes not the best practices, well, 7 years ago. Um, I found the first job. Since then, I changed multiple companies. Currently, I'm working in the one of the biggest, not let's say super biggest, but okay, one of the big companies in the US. So my position is full remote. I work from Canada for the US based company. And this company having, I think we have more than 50 million users daily. It's not a big secret, but it just the data is not consistent. Anyways, I specialize on the Kubernetes virtualization. That's really my passion. Actually, Kubernetes is my go-to tool to do stuff. Honestly, sometimes you do not need to dive that deep, and Docker is also works fine. Highly loaded distributed systems and highly loaded cloud environments. Our current environment, which we work with, will be focused on the AWS, so Amazon Web Services, and we also will be working partially on the on-premises solution. So I'm not promising to guide you through the Azure or GCP or Oracle, but with the base knowledge from this course, you definitely going to be able to pick up that knowledge separately. So that's about me. I do have a lot of knowledge. the biggest challenge is always for the students to ingest it, which is fine. And let's go deeper into the actual DevOps profession, I think. So, what is the DevOps? It's a very interesting question because when somebody asks me, what are you doing? I'm like, well, it gets complicated very fast. But overall, the expectation is that it is not a profession. I can't call myself DevOps. I can call myself platform engineer or site reliability engineer, or I can call myself release engineer or even a GitOps engineer, technically, but not a DevOps because DevOps is a set of practices. And that's like game rules. It's a set of game rules technically inside the company which helps to deliver more efficiently, faster, cleaner, more bug-free product. Not gonna talk about bugs here, but DevOps is focusing on collaboration and automation, everything what can be automated and continuous delivery. So that means we are spinning constantly in this endless cycle, like this infinity sign, where we work step by step, and all of these steps together, they never end. So it's not a one-off process. It's a set of procedures through each company actually going through. And trust me, if the company is implementing DevOps principles, they will be successful. If there are no DevOps principles, everything is slow. I went through that myself, and I'll share my knowledge a little bit later. So DevOps also helps teams to build, test, release software faster and more reliably. And that's exactly what this culture is focused on. And that's exactly why we need DevOps engineers, because we, as the professionals, help to basically glue together to separate pieces. Let's talk about it a little bit later, right? So who is a DevOps engineer by the trade itself, right? Um, it's a very interesting question, and sometimes in before the cloud in 2000s, let's put it this way, there were no DevOpses. There were operations, so system administrators, the guys who like to look into the black screen, pun intended, and the guys who like to work with the terminal. And they were developers, the guys who've been looking into their, let's put it this way, VS Code or any SDK software, and basically creating something. So developers didn't have a task to actually interact with the hardware resources they will be running their software on. What that means I can write the program, but I do not really care where this program will be launched, right? So that was task of the ops. And so what happened then, developers would often ship half-baked, half-tested, broken product. And that would come to the operations. And the system administrators, ops guys, they would say, hey, this stuff is broken. And the developer would tell him, okay, but it works on my computer. And that's how the Docker got invented. But overall, the developers would be like, none of my problem. You go fix it. And that's a wrong mindset. And that's exactly why we got the issues. And that's exactly why we have this profession. Um, so what happens next? Basically, DevOps got invented. And it's a intersection between developers and operations. It's an intersection when the engineer starts understanding developers a little bit, just enough to be able to read the code but not to write it, and operation guys. So setting up the cloud infrastructure, creating the servers, setting them correctly, setting up the networks, creating the databases, working with the databases, making sure that all of these layers interact seamlessly without any issues. That's exactly where DevOps shines. And the goal is to improve collaboration and increase efficiency. Again, we do not stand on the operation side completely, but we kind of over top of it. What's interesting is that currently DevOps is going through its mature phase where DevOps as the word got split on the multiple professions. And after our bootcamp, you essentially going to be capable to pick and choose which one you like more. And that is something interesting because before, like sometime 2 years ago, everybody wanted just a DevOps. And that was completely different for every company. Now you can actually know what the company wants. So what DevOps participation and what kind of practices DevOps engineer actually do, right? What do we preach? We preach multiple phases. One is plan, because we help to define requirements on how the application will be launched and requirements for the development process. Basically, we tell developers, okay, this is the hardware which you will get. That's what you work with. That's it. And we are capable of imposing the rules on that. And that is normal because essentially we will arrive there at the end of the day. Our hardware is our hardware, but developer needs to understand what they're going to work with. And another thing, what is interesting is that developers, they are getting requirements to understand DevOps practices, which is beautiful, honestly, because it makes our work easier. The next thing, code. Developers write code and commit changes to the version control, but we do version control. Essentially, what that means that the code itself, software, is written and it needs to be stored somewhere. Probably a lot of people who's here heard about the GitHub, right? It's not the only one place where we do store the code, but DevOps engineer, particularly release engineer, is responsible for maintaining the clear history and appropriate planning and appropriate rule set on the repository where we do store our code. Without it, developers can do a lot of harm, and I've seen not once when everything is so convoluted that only a couple people in the company know how it works. There are no predefined set of rules how to actually work with the source control code, and it also slows down the new product delivery. So imagine you created the app. It's fine. It's been developed with the AI. I'm taking the edge cases here, but it's very possible. And yes, I'm allowed to talk about AI here. And it's created with AI. The code is so convoluted, nobody except the AI can read it. And what's interesting is that if you try to ask Delving to explain it back to you, it's going to struggle and it's going to hallucinate. And that's exactly where you need a human touch. And that's why the DevOps engineer as the profession is not in the danger yet. So AI can multiply our powers, yes. Make our work easier, yes. Make us faster, more efficient, yes. But you still need to know basic. You still need to have that human touch. So we participate in the code. Also, we participate in the build because we help to automate application build. Software as itself, depending on the language which it was written, essentially can't run itself sometimes, and sometimes it needs to be compiled in a certain way. What that means essentially that we need to run it through a certain process where we get the finished product at the end. And that's exactly what we're responsible for because we help to automate this process. Before it was run manually, like developer would create the archive. This archive will get shipped somewhere. Somebody will take this archive, unbundle it, and so on. At the moment, there's so many automation tools that we do not really need to do it, and we can completely automate it, so we wouldn't be doing it manually every time. It means everything can run faster. And tests. DevOps engineer works with the QA engineers a lot. So quality assurance is essential part of our application because nobody wants to ship a broken product, right? You don't want to look at the website and see your button floating somewhere in the skies just because one of the developers forgot to do something properly. So essentially what happens, the normal workflow is that DevOps engineer help to set up tests for the QA engineers, and QA engineers usually come back to the DevOps engineer when things go wrong, some test fails, like 1, 2 tests fails, that's fine. But if the whole suite of the tests fails, they usually come back to us and ask, hey, something is wrong. I'm not really understanding what's going on here. Let's just dig deeper together. That's one of the use cases. The other one is that we actually present and show the tooling for the QAs. Like they just give us a bunch of the requirements. I need to run Cucumber, or I need to run the automated test suite on this, or I need to run Svelte or something. Bunch of smart words here. And we do set up the environment for that. So we are responsible of adding packages, setting them up, and making sure it works the way how the QA like it. Okay, let's keep moving. We
Alexei,
also, yes.
sorry, before you move forward, we're already having a lot of questions about like you, especially after you mentioned AI. I was thinking
Oh my
maybe,
gosh, guys,
maybe,
let's go to the AI to the end of the
yeah,
to
we'll answer
to the
that
end of
in
the
the end.
presentation.
But I just wanted you to let those people who, for example, don't have IT background, to let them know that you're going to be teaching them step by step. And like, especially when you use the word code, and coding. So I just wanted you to let our visitors know that you don't have to have a background in IT in order for you to become
Mhm.
DevOps engineer. Am I correct?
Yes, and our bootcamp is usually not usually. Our bootcamp is structured a certain way where we start from simple and we go to the more complex. And at the end, if you compare yourself to the beginning of the bootcamp, you will be surprised how much you already know and how much wider point of view on the current IT state you have. That's something what I can promise you for sure. And
Awesome.
yes, recorded classes for sure. You get an access to the portal where you will get the access to all of the recorded classes. Our classes are recorded. And what else is there? Yeah,
No, that's
basically,
great. Thanks for making it clear. I just wanted to encourage those who don't have IT background, who's thinking,
yeah, yeah.
is there a chance for me to get into the IT industry? And the answer is yes. And
Oh yeah,
Alexei will
definitely.
teach you step by step, even if you don't have a foundation, he'll help you to build it. And if you already have a background in IT, then you're going to enjoy this program as well. And Alexei, because all our groups for students, they're usually small. So in this case, Alexei can really like give you specific assignments, and so he's making classes very interactive. So I
Yep.
just wanted to kind of like make it sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can take that for sure. So, I'm stopping in the middle of the actual DevOps profession here, but okay, we will continue. No worries. Basically, our studying process, it's a live class, so you will see my face 3 times a week, sometimes more. The classes will be around 1.5 hour or longer. I'm specifically emphasizing or longer, but not more than 2.5 hours. Certain topics they require a little bit longer explanations and more working with the auditorium. Yes, everything is online, so Zoom link, you will get access to that, and classes are recorded. So if you miss the class for any reason, you can always come back to the portal and just rewatch it again. And for those who studying along the way, you can always come back to the actual video and find the pieces which you need. And that's going to be part of your homework because not only classes, but you will get the homework. I'm honestly not a big fan of the homework. So what that means I'll try to make it as small as possible. But because the DevOps as the profession is a fairly complicated profession itself, you definitely would need to do your own research and work with the documentation. That's I can guarantee. Again, most of the times the homework is done on the lesson. Also, we do have the practice lessons. That's exactly what I meant by saying that we do have another instructor which is going to be joining in the certain time, and you will be free to come in and ask you questions. That's the optional, by the way, classes. So doesn't fit your time, doesn't work for you, you are comfortable working on stuff yourself, you're definitely going to be doing it yourself. Um, and that's not everything, but I'm gonna hold it to the end of this presentation because we have more than that in our package. Now, DevOps engineer as the profession. Let's continue. We participate in the release of the code. What that means that we do ship that website with a broken button. And our goal is to make sure that it's actually getting shipped properly. You're gonna see that website with a broken button, maybe for a split of a second. And if the stuff is broken, then roll it back safely. That means the all changes which are critical, and so you wouldn't stare into the blank screen, they should be rolling back in the seconds. Deployment, of course, automated. But that's not everything because not only we need to ship it, we also need to operate it. And I'm using website as the example, but it can be technically anything. Uh, I'm thinking about Netflix for some reason right now. because it's one of the highly loaded applications. It's not only website, which works on your TV, your computer, your mobile phone, but it also it's a web application. It's not a website. And what that means we need to monitor it and we need to gather metrics from our users and we need to understand where the user starts lagging behind and you start seeing decreased quality of the video or the latency of the video is going up. So that means you have a buffering all the time, right? Do you remember that happened recently? Like sometime 3, 4 months ago? Please type in the chat. So that is all about operation and monitoring, and we are directly involved in that. There is again a bunch of software, a bunch of practices, but we are all working with it as the DevOps engineers. Next slide. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. Tool set, right? So what is the tool set, which is essentially the industry standard? And at the moment, it's a cloud and we counting here as the developers. 0 is not a mistake. Cloud. You need to pick up any cloud platform. By the way, there is a lot of movement back to the on-premises, and that's exactly what I was stating in the beginning of this presentation when I said sometime in 2000s there were no cloud, and that means that we had to work with the on-premises. So servers, the old-fashioned way, setting them up through the configuration, terminal, and so on. At the moment, everything shifted to the cloud, and the cloud giving us very agile platform. That means we can launch there whatever we want, but it's gonna cost us. And that's gonna be intro to the next profession, which is a FinOps. But for the moment, we can launch anything what we want, and it's so much easier than doing it on the server on premises yourself. So we need to work with the cloud. GitHub. GitHub as the source control, of course. That's the place where we store the code, the source code, which is used for later on for the applications. Second tool is Jenkins. Jenkins is our automation powerhouse. By the way, at the moment, there is a big big outflow into the GitHub Actions. I think they are cheaper and they are integrated better. Part of our course, we will look into both of them, and actually each one of you would be able to pick up which one is you like more, right? Next tool is Terraform. Terraform, it is a tool which helps us to set up the cloud resources because not only we need to actually get access to the cloud like AWS, we actually need to work with it and preferably in the automated way. So not only manually doing, hey, I need one server. What if you need 100? What if you need 1,000? Right? That's exactly where we get Terraform into play. And Ansible is next tool, which actually helps us to set up these servers. So Terraform provides us the server as the hardware, and Ansible is setting it up as the invisible hand. Docker and Kubernetes. Those are complex topics. Kubernetes itself honestly deserves a separate bootcamp, but it's a virtualization technology which is becoming de facto the standard of the industry because it's agile and anything can be launched in Kubernetes. And also talking about AI, hey, I'm gonna tingle your interest today. So talking about AI, because Kubernetes is so agile and because AI hardware is so freaking expensive, basically Kubernetes is must have in your toolbox. And it's possible to set up it only to use the hardware for only when it's needed. And Kubernetes provides a great resources and great way to split and cut it and load it up to the top. Without Kubernetes, things will become expensive very fast. You can trust me. And many more. So along the course, we're going to look into the actual monitoring solutions, into the databases, into the networks, into the working with the cloud and other AWS services, and so on. We have a pretty short presentation today, so that's why I'm not diving too deep there, but there's more than that. Things to know to become DevOps engineer. System administration, yes, we're going to be working a lot with the terminal, but again, don't be scared because the way how it's all set up, technically like today's presentation, we come from the simple small steps You try this, you try that, you run this command without even understanding what exactly you're doing. But over time, the knowledge is compounding. I'm not sure why the guys put in their programming, specifically Java and Python. That can be a blooper on the presentation. You can expect those here. But, well, talking about AI, right? We use the applications which are already pre-made by somebody. So we are not directly creating any programs or any software by us. As part of the course, we use the open source software. Yes, that means that this software is free of charge for anybody in the internet if you can get your hands on it. And you will see how many amazing things are there. And you will totally decouple your mind from the Windows or the Mac ecosystem, and you will understand that how much freedom Linux can actually provide to you. That I can promise to you. I'm preaching Linux, by the way. And cloud management for sure, and practical experience. Because practical experience, that's something what you must have to be successful on the interview. To go to the interview and be capable of saying, hey, I got my hands deep into a certain tech and I definitely can slice and dice it for you the way you like it. And that's what the interviewers love. Because for me, when I'm interviewing people, and if I find their spot of passion, let's put it this way, I really love to dive deeper into it to see exactly what they are passionate about and why they love certain technologies. So that's something what you definitely gonna acquire along our bootcamp. Who can become a DevOps engineer? Technically anybody. So gender and age, well, that's I honestly think is really aged not super well in our time because I've seen people who is performing better at their 50s than the new generation. On the flip side, I've seen the new generation who's got passion about certain stuff just by playing games and then decided to go deeper and then they become professionals. Basic education doesn't really matter, but you gotta be ready to be educated again on this bootcamp. Detail-oriented individuals, for sure. DevOps is about details. Sometimes you miss one parameter and things wouldn't work, but that's something what I can teach you. Hardworking, capable of learning, that's, well, of course, one of the must-haves, and able to establish cause and effect relations and seek new solutions to the given problem. Wow, that was long. Basically, the idea is that I will show you something. I would want you to make it happen, make it work the way I showed it to you. And then we will basically take it apart and understand what happened there. And those who can work in a team, of course, because it's a boot camp and I'm gonna try to focus on each individual, but unfortunately, if the group's gonna be big, uh, the chances are that you're gonna get a limited time for sure. And that means that we gonna work in teams. And that means that you gotta share the knowledge with each other. And basically the power of current of the black screen at the moment is in the community. Because you can always come back into the chat and say, hey, I have some stuff which is doesn't really work the way how I expected. And either me or my instructor helper or even students who finish the bootcamp, they can just always jump in and tell you, hey, you probably missed one comma right there. And that's normal. But that's good that you have this place to ask. Because for me, when I was joining the force of the DevOps, there were no place to ask. There was a bunch of YouTube videos, yes, bunch of the online materials for sure. But if things go wrong, the ChatGPT didn't exist back then. By the way, ChatGPT is the great tool to answer your questions, but it hallucinates so much, and it doesn't know the technology so much that it's actually pretty scary the way it gives the output to you. So don't be lulled by the actually a lot of text, like the wall of text which it's throwing back at you. All of this doesn't matter. What's funny is you might spend more time actually designing your prompt engineering around the chat GPT versus just going reading documentation, doing it yourself. I caught myself on it already more than 5 times. Well, because some complex stuff I just like to throw together and tell it, hey, give me back the working solution. And it's always not. Always. And after half an hour, I just gave up on it and go and read documentation, and it's like clearly there. Also, Stack Overflow. It's not completely discontinued. Anyways, what is the DevOps engineer salary in the United States? Well, that is the current expectation. The forks are pretty wide, honestly. What's interesting is that there's no junior DevOps engineers. Junior DevOps engineer, it's a mythical person because you either DevOps engineer or you're a senior DevOps engineer. The reason being is that you need to have an enterprise experience, like working with the cloud, but without know-how, you don't have this experience. It's like catch-22, right? In our case, I will teach you how to create your own enterprise experience. So how to work safely with your account, how to lock it down so it's not getting hacked, and how to create resources in your AWS account and actually being capable of utilizing the free tier the AWS provides. AWS does provide the free tier for the resources. Uh, okay, career growth for the DevOps engineers. DevOps engineer can actually later on develop further in his career if you decided not to stay as the senior DevOps engineer. You would need to learn a lot along the way, of course, but you would know what to learn. So you can be cloud architect, you can be a FinOps engineer. That's the career pivot I'm currently taking. Site SRE, site reliability engineer, sure. And of course, if you stay in the profession long enough, I think sometime on the fifth, sixth, seventh year, you can get to the level of at least CTO, not sure, depends on the size of the company, but probably a good manager, definitely, or even like a director level. Those paths are open for the DevOps engineer because you would have enough technical knowledge to be capable of understanding what's going on there, but you would need to gain a lot of communicational skills because CTO level or head of the DevOps, it's not only about the technical stack anymore. It's more about how you present yourself to the company, how you work with the others, and how you manage the expectations. The thing is that DevOps itself as the profession require a lot of communication because you will be at the core of the company. Also, DevOps engineers actually having the keys from all doors. That means a lot of security concerns and a lot of security access. That's why DevSecOps is pretty popular profession too. And what's interesting, the very next step, which is currently gaining traction, not sure where it's gonna lead us all and what's gonna happen with the industry in the next 5 years, but there is such a thing as the MLOps right now. Previously, it's not on this slide, by the way. Um, Previously, this profession was more data oriented and oriented for the people who actually work with the uh, big data databases and who also work with the neural networks. At the moment, it's changing. There is a need on the market for somebody who know how to launch the AI model, how to create its own private cloud, how to create its own private chat GPT. And it's not far reach if you think about it anymore. The technology makes it easier every day. Every day there are news, and every day there are new developments, and things go faster, more efficient, more accessible. And that means that in the future, the company is gonna need somebody who know how to do it, and they're gonna call it ML ops engineer. So somebody who knows how to work with the data, with the um, large language models, LLMs, basically, and with how to make it work for the company. Okay, next one, DevOps course. I think I'm gonna stop right here. I'm pretty sure there's more comments in the chat. I just gonna check what's there. And I will talk about AI as I promised, right? So hold on,
Yeah,
let me read.
we got few questions there,
Okay.
and I want to say thank you to everyone who is staying with us. We're just gonna go a little bit over the course, but before we would, as Alexei mentioned, so you gotta get into the industry now, so you could have a room to grow in the future. And in the end of the day, what matters is what are you doing to create the future you deserve. And I'm going to mention a little bit about investment in yourself, because in order for you to be on the next level in your life journey, you have to have a certain skill set. And the more you invest in yourself, then better opportunities are available for you. And thank you for everyone who is posting the. If you have any more questions, keep posting them because we're gonna go over them as well. So this program is going to be starting in the beginning of the March. The program is going to last 4 months, 3 times a week, and the investment in yourself is 3,500. But I mentioned that for everyone who stays with us, we prepared something special. So Alexei, if you could share with me like the next slide where we have a QR code for those, and we can go back to those slides,
Okay.
but I want to show you that for everyone who stayed with us till the end tonight, we prepared a special offer. And as I mentioned earlier, we do have a small groups of students, and that what puts us apart from any other boot camp or educational program out there. And in this case, it's not like a lecture for 100 students. We have smaller groups, 15 to 20 students, no more. And in this case, the instructor can help you to build the foundation. If you don't have IT background, we take you step by step and help you to get the knowledge necessary. And also, it is important in the end of the day to create the lifestyle which you deserve. And when you invest in yourself, that allows you to do that. So if you would like to join our program and do not miss this opportunity, which is on the market right now, as I mentioned statistics in the beginning, right now it's about 10 billion. By 2032, it's going to be over 10 billion dollars industry. So that means demand is only going to grow. So then earlier you get in and get the skill set, then faster you will be able to seize the opportunity and monetize on this growing market. And so you can log into this price within 24 hours only for $49 deposit. And then you can get enrolled for 2,999 instead of 3,500. And the program is 4 months. And then it puts you in the position of generating on average, as we showed you, over 122,000. And then in a few years, you could be over $250,000. But you got to start somewhere. And so I was going through my goals today, and it's like it's already March. It's like 2 months of New Year already gone. And so my question for you today is, what are you doing today to be at the point in your life where you created the lifestyle of your dream? And DevOps engineer is a great career which could allow you to have the flexibility and earning over $100,000 a year. It's a great start. And so instead of spending 4 years in the university, investing way over $200,000, and then not even starting at that level, I would consider that. So here we give you an opportunity where you get into the program, and in 4 months, you already have a skill set, which will give you a great start. And we don't just give you the knowledge, we also help you with your resume. We also teach you how to pass the interview. So that's why we were able to help over 25,000 students since 2016 when we founded the company. And our students, they are very successfully working in this field. And DevOps engineering career is a great opportunity. And I always say that success is when preparation meets opportunity. So we prepare you for this opportunity, which is right now. So I would encourage you, do not delay it, because some people, they're like waiting for that right time. And we're already in March. If you will keep waiting for that right time to invest in yourself, the year will go by and you will have the same results as you had in the beginning of the year if you didn't invest in yourself and if you didn't do anything with your skill set. And I want to go back in the previous slide, Alexei, and show them what's included in our program. And so scan this QR code if you want to get the deposit. and join our program. And I know that Alexei is going through the questions. So
Yeah, I'm
we will
trying to
be.
answer them.
Oh, you already answered. So just a
Yes.
little bit further. So what you will learn, the tools, Alexei mentioned a lot of them. And but what is very amazing about Alexei in our program is that he works in the industry. And with IT field, there's always something new, like new AI tools, like some updates. And if you don't work in the industry, you miss out. And so if you learn something old, you can't use it anymore. So that's why all our experts in our program, they all work in the industry, and we make our classes interactive. So where you apply what you learn, and so by the time you get to the interview, you already have experience, and you're not being confused with the questions you'll be asked, because we prepare you for the interview. We even help you with resume, your LinkedIn profile. And so our students, by the time they complete the program, they have everything what they need to be successful in the field. So and then they are ready to pass the interview. And of course, we expect you to show up. If you miss the classes, we expect you to watch the recording. And Alexei promised not to give you a lot of homework. And I don't like homework, but it actually helps you to apply what you learn. And so it's not going to be a lot. Like I know in some of the schools, they will give you a lot of homework, and then you go figure out and work with GP chat on your own. So it's not going to happen in this program. On the next slide, I want to show you exactly what's included. Alexei, if you don't mind showing the
Yes.
next slide for me. And then, yeah, so resume building, career coaching, job search strategies, and our students, they work in the industry. And the fact that you will be a part of community of graduates, sometimes if some jobs open up in the places where they work, it might open a door for you if you're very brilliant student who answered the questions. And visit all the classes, so do not miss out on this opportunity. And also, let me go to the last slide. I want to let them scan the QR code where they
Mm-hmm.
can have a consultation. Like if you want to
Oh,
discuss
okay.
the
Next one. This one.
yeah, the
Okay.
next one, you
Mm-hmm.
can leave your information there. If you have any questions about payment plan or something, feel free to do that. And I want to go through some of the questions. The first one was from Girish. She said, how AI is going to impact DevOps job market? And Alexei, I want you to answer it, because I think it's a great question, and everyone is probably interested to hear your opinion.
Okay, one more time, please. I lost the
Mhm.
track. No, I mean, can you repeat the question?
So the question is how AI is going to impact DevOps job market.
Oh, it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow.
Mhm.
We are safe. That's as far as I can say. That's like a, TLDR. The long version is that look at it from the perspective that every company and your grandmother want to have the AI in its pocket. And at the moment, the challenge is that AI is a lot of resource consuming technology. That means you
Mhm.
can have a front end, basically a face website on your cell phone. That's what I exactly do right now. I have this project set up. And the backend part, which is the actual processing model itself, right? It needs to run on this certain hardware. And that hardware costs a lot of money. So somebody need to set it up, and somebody need to set up infrastructure around it. Like you need networks, you need servers, you need support, you need the monitoring there. All what we went through just now holds true to it. The next step is new version. There is a new version of the model arrives. Again, somebody needs to release it, or somebody needs to roll back if stuff goes wrong, right? So that means that the companies, they actually gonna increase their team to be capable of doing it by themselves. Or in consulting, when they hire somebody who does it for them, and then you need to have a support, right? That's the one thing. The other thing is that The actual infrastructure market is also adopting a lot of new trends these days. What I mean by that is that AI is capable of finding patterns and doing the analysis which human are not really capable of doing, or it's really tough job. And that means that companies who launch the AI at their core, they can propose the service where they, for example, tracking the server usage, and they can find you cheaper servers. And what's interesting, again, somebody needs to support it, and somebody needs to understand how the servers work, and somebody needs to understand how this hardware loading pattern works, and somebody needs to perform the analysis if it's true or not. And that is the intersection between DevOps and architect. So, solution architect, yes, it's a profession. And that means that demand for the DevOps is also gonna go up. Also, there are a lot of data centers currently getting built. I know we have one person here. I'm not sure if he's still here. It's a student from the previous bootcamp. Hamza, I'm talking about you. Uh, and he works or worked, I'm not exactly sure, at the data center somewhere. And I'm pretty sure he can type something in the chat. Uh, I'm not asking him to speak. But basically, can you confirm the way of the workload increased lately, like last 6 months-ish, maybe 1 year, and requirements and understanding of what's going on the server? If he's still here, I don't know. If yes, fine. If not, then no. But from my knowledge, basically we are getting built a lot of data centers, and that means we're gonna need a lot of hands on the deck. The thing is that market is currently balancing itself. That means that uh, AI tools making us faster, more efficient, and something what previously would take us half a day, now with the help of the ChatGPT or whatever, DeepSeek AI is also fine. Um, can take us 1 hour. So more workload on the senior stuff, yes. But you can't get seniors without getting juniors. That doesn't work this way. And that means that DevOps domain gonna grow. It's gonna transform and it's gonna grow. And because of everything is just blowing up at the moment, I'm just waiting for the moment when we're just gonna see more and more roles required. I have a statistics of my own. When I haven't gotten any hits in the February, I think, on my LinkedIn profile. Like nobody would really even try to contact me remotely. And I'm fine with that because I'm just keeping my profile there. But starting, sorry, that was not February, that was beginning of January. I mixed up the month. In the February, I got
That's in
five or
March.
six. Yeah. No, yeah, right now it's February. March is soon. Yes.
Mhm.
What I'm saying is that I got 5 or 6 hits out of blue without even doing anything. And that means that market is becoming more and more alive. And I'm expecting in the spring that we're gonna see more demand for the IT specialists. But developers currently suffer. QA also suffer. And they are
Mhm.
not suffer in the way where they are getting kind of less demand for them, but in the way where they need to go through the transformation, where they need to start to understand how to work with the cloud and the servers, and where developers require to actually understand how the Docker works and what to do with it. Where QA is required to understand how to do the prompt testing. I know there are a couple people who does it already in our chat, and how to properly compile the prompt because the wording matters. And my language is not perfect, so come on, guys. But um, you need to word it in this certain way to get the most out of the AI. And all of that, it's actually creating more work for us. So, yes, a lot of companies currently doing layoffs, but yes, a lot of company currently hiring. And that's interesting about news
Mhm.
because you see the news about layoffs, but you don't see the news about like, hey, the company just hired 10,000 workers. Because yes, they keep hiring them too. Look at the statistics that matter, how many people they hire since they announced the layoffs. Um, so overall, I'm looking positive. DevOps market actually is gonna grow, and I don't think we're gonna have any issues in the next 5 years. If you look at the way how the convoluted setup is, I mean, welcome to our bootcamp to actually look into the how convoluted it is. You will understand why the AI cannot replace us yet. And I don't think it's going to be capable anytime soon. Until we have something at least remotely similar to the human brain and capability of not being just a smart database, but more connecting dots and adapting to the environment where it is existing. And that's something what AI at the moment is not. We can
That's a
transform
great.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great overview. And I remember that, like, I think a few years ago when everybody wanted to become a QA engineer, and there was like a booming of the industry. And those who got into the right timing, they're successful in the career. Now they're like going to the next steps and they're already, you know, maybe working like a DevOps, or like if they up their skill set. So right now, the same thing for the DevOps engineering. So if you got into the industry in the right time, 5 years down the road, you already would be at a totally different level because there is a room to grow. But if you miss this window of opportunity, right now it's 10 billion of people, and by 2032, as I mentioned, is going to be over $10 billion industry. So right now is the window of opportunity. If you get in right now, then you will have the results. But if you will, wait for the perfect timing, then it's going to be too late. Like right now, if you try to get into IT industry and you want to become QA, that's a waste of time because the market of QA professionals are already overloaded. There are too many of them, but not with DevOps. That's why we created it, and we want to give this opportunity to you. So thank you for everyone who stayed with us today. And tomorrow, I think Alexei will share more about technical things, and it's going to be more even more interactive. And so, but we wanted to share with you this opportunity and give you a chance. Do not miss it. So feel free to scan this QR code, leave your information, or book your spot with a deposit, and start your dream career, change your future, and create the lifestyle which you deserve. And I want to thank Alexei again for sharing with us this opportunity and giving us some golden nuggets and insight about this blooming industry. And I'm excited about learning even more tomorrow. So it is going to be at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. And I want to thank everyone who stayed with us till the end, especially those who are on Eastern time zone. Thank you. And we are very excited about helping you to go step by step and build your knowledge and skill set in this new industry. So have a wonderful night, everyone. Thank you for staying with us, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. If for some reason you missed some of this lesson, we will be providing the recording. And if you want to share it with some of your friends, you're more than welcome. So thank you, Alexei, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Thank you. See you tomorrow in technical demo. Have a good night. Bye.
Have a good